Oh, pardon me. Hello everybody, 21-week pregnancy diary. Nothing much to report this week really, apart from the fact I've got loads of kicking going on. And I think by this time, last time, I'd only just started to feel movements. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I thought, oh my God, I'm really late feeling movements, or at the later end of the scale sort of thing. But yeah, I started feeling them a few weeks ago, and this time around I sort of knew what they were, those little bubbly, weird, wriggly things. But apart from that, really nothing much to report. I mean, apart from the fact I'm just getting huge by the day. The reason I'm doing a diary this week is just to have a little laugh about what happens when you Google pregnancy stuff and illnesses during pregnancy. Because I did this last time when I couldn't stop coughing, and I went on Google and managed to, as you do, find the worst thing possible about coughing in pregnancy. And someone has said, yeah, it can, if you cough too violently and too much, it can basically start labour or something, or it was like it could damage you. And I was like, oh, for Christ's sake, that will be me. Because I was, you know, when you're just coughing your guts up, that's what I was doing. Anyway, I basically couldn't sleep after that for days, and I drank loads and loads of honey and lemon. In my last pregnancy, I thought you couldn't take paracetamol. I know you're not supposed to really take anything to sort of excess, but you can take paracetamol, and I thought that you couldn't take anything at all. So I sort of suffered a lot with that cold. It was terrible. I wouldn't do the same now, because it just wiped me out. In fact, I wouldn't be able to do the same now, and it's very different this time around because I'm looking after Angelica and I'm pregnant, so I can't afford to be sort of stuck in bed all day long for 3 days. However, saying that, this week I sort of have been, because I've got the worst sort of tummy bug, and it's just been A, revolting. I never want to see loo roll again in my life, and B, really, really draining. I felt so poorly, and it's taken me to today to contact the doctors because I thought, oh, this is so stupid. It's just some diarrhea. Had a bad headache, but that's from the dehydration. So last night, to go back to where I was and this Googling thing, I thought, you know what, I've had this for 4 days now. I'm fine with it, and my husband looked up, and you can do this sort of brat diet, which is bananas, rice, applesauce and toast. Applesauce, never had it in my life apart from with pork, so I'm not going to start eating that now. So I've been eating sort of toast with very little on it, bananas, plain soup, that kind of thing. And yeah, so that was sort of dealt with, but I thought, hold on a second, what if going for prolonged amounts of time is harmful to the baby? So I thought I'd Google it, as you do. And then what was the first thing that my roving eye, pessimistic eye, caught on the Google results page? Oh yeah, diarrhea can be a sign of premature labour, or dehydration from diarrhea can cause premature labour. Now, I don't know whether that's true, because there's all kinds of shit on Google that just completely isn't true. Or it's, yeah, maybe there's been sort of 2 times that's happened, and now it's on Google and it comes up when every poor sod who's pregnant that Googles is diarrhea dangerous for your baby, it comes up on the front page. So as we all know, you have to take what's on Google with a pinch of salt. Sometimes it's brilliant and it's useful, other times it's a load of crap. But, you know, it worried me all night long, enough for me to phone the doctors today, and they gave me a sort of phone appointment with the doctor, who is very nice, and rang and went, oh dear, I hear you're not feeling very well. It was brilliant. I thought that he was being sarcastic, but he was actually that sympathetic. At the end of the call, he went, I do hope you start to feel better soon. It was like he had been prepped at charm school for doctors. It was so nice. It just made my day. I loved him. Robert. Hello, Robert here from the surgery. Anyway, he said, don't worry, it would take a lot to hurt a baby with illness, but you've got to make sure that you don't get dehydrated. And he said, because you've been having headaches, it sounds like you have been getting dehydrated. And he said, all of the foodstuffs that I had been thinking about starting eating today. And then he said Diorolite, which these are sort of sachets of powder. Then they've got sort of salts and minerals in and stuff to replenish you. And they're really rehydrating. So I've had a few of those today and I do feel quite a lot better. But then I got into bed and had two-hour sort of fitful sleep this afternoon because the husband is home. And I thought, why not take advantage? And now he's taken the dog and the baby for a big walk. So I'm vlogging. But hopefully, I don't have a temperature. I will start to feel better. My boobs have grown massively this week. Don't know whether you can see that. Actually, I don't know whether they have grown or they've always just been like this since the beginning. But they definitely look bigger. In the mirror, I was like, whoa! Because my bump had grown so quickly, they'd sort of been overshadowed. They've never been small, but they look like big wangers. And they've got sort of darker veins on them now as well. So, you know, preparing to breastfeed again after their short and sweet break. Should have just carried on really, shouldn't I? But I was too tired. I was far too tired at the beginning to be breastfeeding Angelica and being pregnant. It was like, no, this something's got to give. And you know, she was already stopping. So anyway, that's my update for the week. Hope that you enjoyed it. Basically, it was all about diarrhea, which is always lovely. But yeah, I'm sat here in my snug, which is still just full of odds and ends, which was built when I renovated my house to go with the master bedroom. This used to be our old dining room, which used to be upstairs. And now the dining room is down there. Let me show you where I'm sat. So, yeah, this is the first time that I've properly sat and relaxed in this chair and looked out over the garden. There's my office at the end. And it's really relaxing. I love my Sedum roof. I'm going completely off piste here. But if anybody ever needs a Sedum roof doing, these people are the very, very best. So many people, architects and what have you, have come around and said that is the best Sedum roof they've ever seen. It's not looking tip-top at the moment because it's going into autumn mode, but it changes colour every season. I did not get any kind of discounts on this roof. Just want to point that out. I am saying this because I'm so impressed with it. I think they were called A&S Global, if anybody ever needs a roof. Oh, I'm full of tips and recommendations, me. Anyway, I'm going to go now because I'm going to edit this video and put it live before they get back from their walk. And yeah, when I've next got something non-diarrhea related to update you with, I shall do so. So watch this space. Plenty of non-diary videos coming as well. I know that so far it's all diary videos. But you know, it's quite a lot to do 2 websites, and I sort of thought, well, I'll cut back on one and shift some time to the other. But it's really hard to do that when you've been used to doing one for 6 years. And yeah, I'm still trying to work out how to shift my time. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed wherever you go for that. And check out the website as well, theuphill.com, because I write plenty on there that will never be on here, if you know what I mean, won't cross over. And you can subscribe to that as well on the email newsletter thing. I'll put a link to that below as well. All right then, bye.